This special place where I film, basically the lady who created this was the lady that brought us together, who's unfortunately no longer here on this earth, but she has an energy that helps me create this podcast each week. Kelly Slynn.
Yeah, I loved her. Well, still love
Yeah.
her. I still message her sometimes. She's an incredible woman, and I'm not surprised she built this. As soon as I walked in here, I knew exactly what you meant when you said Kelly built it. Of course she did. It has her written all over it.
Yeah.
The space is beautiful. It's homely. It feels safe.
Yeah.
So, and that is the kind of thing Kelly liked to do for people.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
That was her energy.
And when we moved here, I said to Kelly, because she was in the property development side of things, I said to her, I need my garden doing. And she created my garden. And this space was literally a piece of wasteland at the back of my house. And I said that I want to create a snug. And this was before COVID. So this is, if for anybody who doesn't know, this is an inside-outside area. It's covered. It's got heaters. It's got lighting. And we wanted to create a safe space for myself and Adam to come down here when things were getting a bit too tough at home and in the house. Her thought process was very, very detailed and caring and kind and considerate. And I didn't know it was the anniversary of her passing, because I found out, I was away last year in Antigua when I found out, and I happened to say a very quiet, I don't know if it was a prayer to her or if it was something, we're currently trying to sell our house, and I just said, Kelly, if you're here, can you please bless this house and make sure whoever buys this house, it goes to a good person, because obviously you put so much time and effort and care into it. And I didn't speak those words out loud. And then as soon as I got to the train station to get my train up to work, I looked on Facebook, and you had put this long message on Facebook to Kelly. And it was just bizarre, because I hadn't spoken her words. And normally Facebook picks up on it when you speak someone's name.
You hadn't said it out loud.
I hadn't said it out loud. And I read your post and I instantly went, oh my God, Sally, and I talked, I gave you, I sent you this message about the snug. Yes, and I just felt drawn to want to talk to you.
Oh, same here. I was so excited when I read your message. I was like, okay, Kelly's doing this thing again, because we had quite a few mutual friends, and everyone who knew Kelly spoke about her in the same way you've done, kind, warm, intelligent, beautiful. Also, she had this thing where she would bring people together, and she knew people who would get along. So even in death, she still knows.
Yeah. So tell the listeners about your journey and how you came to be where you are now.
So I wasn't born in this country. I did spend a bit of time here in the 80s as a child with my parents, but predominantly I grew up in Nigeria. As a teenager, I did want to explore the UK a bit more. So I would come and work, and, go back. And then after a while, I realized that even though I was a young adult and probably still needed my parents, the UK felt more like home. And my parents were saying to me then, are you sure you want to do this all over again? So you're leaving the comfort of everything everything that's been set up. You're in the middle of uni, because I was doing a law degree in Nigeria. And do you not want to at least finish and be armed with your degree? And I said, I didn't think it was going to be relevant one way or another. And so I think one thing about me is, if my heart is pulled towards something very strongly, I will go for it. So I'm a bit of a risk taker.
Mm-hmm.
So I knew it was going to be difficult, but then I met a man, and should I say, I got a little bit derailed from, the route I was on. And well, to be fair, he probably got derailed as well, and then we had 2 children together. So unfortunately we got divorced in 2011, And that was the beginning of a different kind of journey for me. Threw myself straight into work.
Okay.
So I found a job. I worked as a chambermaid and, waitressing and things like that. I knew I was struggling, but I didn't recognize it as struggling. This is why when we talk now about affirmations and things like that, I understand the concept. So you can't miss what you never had.
Yeah.
So I didn't know any, much. It wasn't, there wasn't anything that was significantly overwhelming that I couldn't deal with. So the loneliness was, as far as I was concerned, just a rite of passage. The struggles were, I was thinking about, check me out earning GBP.
Yeah.
So
you were looking at it in a completely different way.
Yes. And I was thinking that if I was going to live in the UK and settle here anyway, a degree from here surely would make more sense than a degree from Nigeria. I mean, yes, I could convert and I could do, but I just thought, well, if I'm starting again from scratch, let me make it from scratch.
Okay.
And bearing in mind that I was a teenager, I was literally, I think I was, 19, having these thoughts in my head. That was quite young, but also I would say, considering where I am today, and this was always it was all this the strength and the resilience always lived somewhere inside of me.
Okay.
And it's something that I'm very proud of. It was quite a turbulent relationship, dating wise, before we got to the marriage aspect, but we still went for it anyway. And that, I think, is because we were destined to go through this journey together. And we did. So we got 2 lovely kids. When I came out of it, obviously you would know, it's very difficult because you have to find your feet. So it felt like I had the same feeling I had when I left Nigeria and I came here, which is daunting fear, but determination. So it was like starting again from scratch. So I left the marriage with nothing, like
literally nothing.
Yeah. Firstly, I thought about what am I going to do with my career, because I found myself in a space where I was so exhausted. I wasn't quite established enough within the legal space to do what I wanted to do. I needed him. I needed a partner to support me so that if I earned a little less, it wouldn't matter because I'd get it would bounce off each other because we're raising 2 children, but I didn't have that. So I had to think quickly, which is how I ended up going into project management. So there was bits of legal in it, but not quite like going to court or anything like that. It was documentation and ensuring the banks were keeping up with regulations and things like that. So that was good enough for me, but that provided me with more of the stability I needed to be able to raise my kids and keep them happy.
When I split up from my first husband, I had a lot of help. I was in a very good job where I financially paid for childcare for her, but I also had family around me. And hearing your story about, being with this guy and you're going to have to leave him.
Yes.
And I know you had the strength behind you.
Yeah. I had my mom. My mom lived nearby.
You had your mom.
She lived nearby, but my mom was working. So she worked at West Herts College.
Okay.
Yeah, she's a teacher. And so we had that, but it was there was a lot of juggling involved because she had a full-time job.
Sure.
She had a full-time job, but bless her, she was amazing. I can't knock the support that I got from there. But like you, I had to pay for nursery and childminding and a nanny.
Yeah.
So my mom was kind of like a secondary support. But if I needed to stay late at the office, for example, which happened quite a lot, that you know what it's like working in the city. Yeah, she was on hand to take over from the nanny, and my kids have they have a really special bond with their nana. Yeah, so I was grateful for that. But sometimes I called her my husband, actually.
Oh,
I say to the nanny, "Is my husband there yet?" And she's like, "Oh, you mean your mum?" I'm like, "Yeah, same thing." So I did have that, but you know, sometimes, as they say, it takes a village to raise a child,
Yeah.
right? I suppose in this country, it can be a very isolating experience being a mum. It was scary. It's very difficult. If I'm not covering it in enough detail, it's because I think I've blocked out quite a lot of the struggle.
Yeah.
It makes me very emotional, thinking about what I did go through. In fact, it was quite traumatic, actually. But it also fills me with so much pride.
Yeah.
So much pride. Because, you know, it can be done. It can be done. There were times when I didn't think I would do it. I remember, you know, having nothing and not quite sure, you know, you're having to financially mix and match and be quite resourceful about things. And I just remember I always used to say, and I don't know who or where I was speaking this to, but I used to say about my children, nothing broken, nothing incomplete, nothing broken, nothing incomplete. And that has stayed with me for years. And it's always been a thing. And now there they are, nothing broken and nothing incomplete.
Yeah.
So, you know, they're 20. Well, she'll be 20 in July, 20, and he's 17. And this is a struggle for, because the cracks in our marriage, even though we fell apart in 2011, they started from 2008, which is when he was born. So it was a very long, rocky road, you know, but we got there. So I started working and building myself up again. I bought a house in Watford, and then things. I started to see the shift in myself, in my voice. I fell in love with the color red, and everyone keeps asking me about that, and I think it's something related to this shift that I went through. And it was kind of like a statement of, I will not be silent. I'll be bold. I'll be vibrant. I'll be out there. I'll be loud. And if I'm too loud for you, then, you know, I'm sorry, you know, I can't. I'm not turning the volume down. If I'm too bright for you, then, you know, you need to get your sunglasses out, because I'm now unstoppable. Nothing, you know. And I went with that mindset, and I bought the house, and everything in the house was red. I literally went obsessed. At the time, I didn't actually realize that it was, you know, there was a connection there. It took me a few years to figure that out. So I've toned it down a bit. However,
you got your red shoes, red. What you're saying is so interesting, because I've just been redoing my website, my realwomancoach website, and we were talking about colours, and the Real Women Stories colours are like a purpley pink.
Yes.
And
very regal.
Yes, well, we decided to go for my Real Woman coach exactly the same colours. And after I'd made that decision, I walked up into my bedroom. Every colour in my bedroom is Real Women's Stories. So colours, you do kind of get drawn. Like, I've got these amazing chairs that my brother gave me, and they're sort of, they look like thrones. They're amazing chairs, and I've got a piece of artwork on my wall that I made before I even got the chairs that were these colours, and it was just so interesting. So I think we're drawn to colours depending on how we're feeling and what we are. And I know that's a whole nother topic to go through.
Statement. Yeah, so you're making a statement in your everyday life.
Yeah.
With these colours.
Yeah.
We have to look into that a bit more. Because purple is quite regal, isn't it? It has a royalty kind of.
Someone sent something to me. It's energy. Right now it's energy, and it's to do with where I'm at. It's big energy, and it's to do with taking action, being in action, happy,
taking control.
Yes, that's it.
Yeah,
that's it. So it is interesting. So I love that. See, another thing. Another thing.
Like, we're twins.
Yes. So you're qualified in law as a barrister.
I am.
You split up from your husband. You've got 2 lovely children. You buy a house.
Yeah.
Then what?
And So 2015, I went with Silent Symphonies and I self-published. I couldn't find traditional publishing. You know how difficult it
So you wrote a book called Silent
Symphonies.
Symphonies,
Yes.
and the book was about, it was a love story.
About a woman. And I was working with these publishers in America, and the PR firm said to me, every time I'm asked to describe the lead character, I use the word unshakable. And I said, oh, do I? I went back and I was like, oh, okay, all right. There is something there actually. And they said, oh, you need to explore this word a little bit more. And so I created this group on Facebook called Together We're Unshakable. And it was for women. I got an email from this lady who was doing this this event where she was trying to educate the world about women and health in less developed countries. So, Nigeria and parts of West Africa, they were trying to create a budget from the UN to support women health and, holistic health.
Okay.
Yes. And she sent me an email and she said, would you like to speak at the event? And I thought, wow, New York, sure.
Amazing.
Yeah. So off I went. This was 2016. And I did promotional T-shirts. So I just had a couple of friends with me. So some people send it into a weekend holiday. My sisters came along. So I created, so it just said Unshakable across, and we did that. And then I went and I did the conference. I think it's probably one of the biggest things I've ever done in my life. It was so daunting. I was thinking, Sally, you're in the United Nations giving a speech at a conference.
Had you ever spoken before?
Well, not at the United Nations, at a wedding, sure.
Yeah.
At a, local event in Watford in the pub, sure.
Yeah.
But this was the United Nations. That was amazing. And then what happened was people started to email me and text me and saying, can I have one of your T-shirts, please? And I was like, oh, it wasn't, it was free. It was, so I sent it to a few people. And then I thought, Sally, you're going to go bankrupt doing this.
Yeah.
So you need to think about merchandising. So I did. And I said, okay, let's test the market and let's do 100. And I sold out the 100. And then I said, okay, how about leggings? Let's try, and then it sold out. So I thought hoodies. And then, so I did various, I haven't had a wide variety of stock. And I had, because it's just organic growth, I haven't employed any kind of marketing or anything like that. It's literally just advertising on Facebook, on Instagram, on, TikTok. And I've had this growth. I'm thinking, so now I started to think about, well, what if I actually put more energy into doing this properly, So,
can I ask you?
Yes.
I'm reading, obviously I can see you've got it on you.
Yes.
What does unshakable mean to you?
Okay. So unshakable, as I always say, everywhere I go, I write this, literally is a state of mind. So it's an individual state of mind. Unshakable to me might not be the same meaning it has for you or anybody else. Unshakable has no gender. So it's not man or woman. The fact that a lot of my followers are women is simply because I'm a woman. And I understand women more than men. I don't think any of us can fully
I'm learning. I am learning.
So, yeah, so they're from a different planet to us. But it's Unshakable is for everybody, everyone. It has it's not religious. So I'm born and brought up Christian. I believe in God. I'm not fanatic or, so I suppose a portion of me will always align my thinking to the moral compass of Christianity, I suppose, but mostly it's about being a good human being. So I won't go out and take a gun and kill somebody, not because of the fear of prison, but because something inside me knows that it's wrong to do that. You see what I mean? So it's more about being a human. So, your empathy, radar, your kindness and your softness. So unshakable is individuality, who you are within yourself, accepting yourself, loving yourself, including your flaws, because we're human. So we're prone to suddenly flaws.
I think, you know, for me, the take home from this particular part of your story is that you set yourself a task because it was something that you wanted to do for yourself that was going to be good for your soul. And then you put that out into the world to share. And other people are now picking up on exactly those sentiments that you wrote in the book, which means that you're helping other people by sharing your thoughts, your feelings, your emotions, and your story in that book, which is so important. If what you have written has touched someone's life, that's the value.
Yes, but
that's the value.
Intent in the first place, the intent was to, I mean, I'm aware of the fact that the market is saturated with self-love, this and that, you know, guides and all sorts, you know, and it's loads and loads of pages and so much work. I just wanted something that was punchy and straight to the point, easy to read. Literally, you could read this in an hour.
I need this book, Sally.
I got you one, actually.
And this is yours. Thank you very much. So, The Love That Lasts. Oh, and you can also write notes in it as well.
Self-reflection.
Oh, how lovely. So, how self-love makes love. #Unshakable. And Unshakable is spelt without the E.
Yes.
Well, I know Kelly's love is definitely lasting here, and she's definitely brought you and I together to have this conversation. It's been an absolute pleasure speaking to you, King Sally. And I'm definitely taking Unshakable with me into my world, into my life.